Okay, so let's look at the different organizational patterns for the body paragraphs of a compare contrast essay. You'll want to go ahead and follow along with me here on these helpful notes that you have here in Blackboard. This is also in your textbook, but the pattern is a little bit briefer or more brief, but you can look at both sections here in Blackboard and in your textbook to kind of help you out. So first of all, notice that the thesis statement for a compare-contrast essay is going to present both subjects being discussed, subject A and subject B, and the thesis statement will also indicate whether your essay will focus primarily on similarities or whether your essay will focus primarily on differences. So you can see the sample in the notes here, although I know it's a cheesy example, but although McDonald's and Burger King are similar fast food franchises, McDonald's is a much better fast food restaurant. So it's letting us know that I'm focusing on two subjects, which are two fast food restaurants, and my essay, if I wrote it, would focus primarily on the differences between these two restaurants. I think you'll find that most of the time when you are doing something that's going to fall in the mode of compare contrast, most of the time you are focusing on differences. Because if you're going to say that one subject is better than or more than, then you kind of have to focus on differences. Otherwise, why would you even be looking at those two subjects in the first place? Um, so make sure that that job is done in your thesis statement. Again, you present both subjects, so subject A and subject B need to be stated specifically, and then indicate whether or not you're going to focus on similarities or differences. When you get down to your body paragraphs, you have the option to organize your points in a subject by subject pattern, a point by point pattern, or a blended pattern. You'll see in the notes here that I have an asterisk next to point by point because that is the pattern that I suggest that you use. Point by point can be used for any type of essay. As where subject by subject cannot be used for any arts-based things. So if you're comparing two movies, two characters, two songs, two historical art periods, subject by subject could not be used for those types of topics. My guess is that you're probably not going to remember that as you move forward in other classes, and that's why I'm recommending the point by point. It's not because it's better or easier or anything like that. It's just that that's the pattern you're safest with. You can use it for any topic. Okay, the blended or alternating, I am going to give you a sample essay that follows that blended alternating pattern. However, I do not recommend you using it until you're a little bit more of an advanced writer and really understand the connection between topic sentences and how they're worded differently between subject by subject and point by point pattern. So let's start off with subject by subject. Subject by subject is exactly what it sounds like. It means that you are organizing your body paragraphs by subject. It's kind of like you have too many essays. You have one half of your essay is going to be just about the first subject, and then the second half of that essay will just be about the second subject. You can see a sample of this on page 261 with the essay that's entitled Suburban Safari. This essay focuses on the differences between a possum and an armadillo. And as you read that sample essay, you'll notice that the first three body paragraphs are talking about the points of how the the armadillo starts with the armadillo, how the armadillo looks and scavenges for food. And then there's a body paragraph about how the armadillo fends off predators. And then there's a body paragraph about how the armadillo reproduces. Then the essay moves on and makes those same points about the possum and comments on how the possum is different from the armadillo. So with an outline, you would have in your notes, I have a sample outline here for you that also tries to show where your transitions go. So if I were going back to the thesis statement about McDonald's and Burger King, if I were going to organize that, I would have 3 body paragraphs about Burger King. The first paragraph would be about the cost at Burger King. The second body paragraph would be about the quality of food at Burger King. And the third body paragraph would be about customer service at Burger King. I would organize each of those body paragraphs with transitions like first, next, second, lastly, most important, and so forth. Again, that's 3 body paragraphs. Sometimes students think that subject A is all one paragraph and then subject B is all one body paragraph. That is not true. Each point still gets its body paragraph. So if I'm writing in subject by subject pattern and I'm looking at the notes here, that means I would have 6 body paragraphs here. 3 for subject A, 3 for subject B. Okay? And again, you can see that structure in Suburban Safari. So if you're going to use the subject by subject pattern, make sure that you have that essay open and out so that you can kind of use it as a guide. Moving on to point by point. I'm sorry, let's go back real quick for the subject by subject. Realize too that those signal words like different from, unlike, in contrast, in the subject by subject pattern, that doesn't happen until you're completely done talking about the first subject. Okay, subject A. Moving on to point by point. Point by point is exactly what it sounds like. It's organizing your points by point instead of subject. This is more of a back and forth type pattern, meaning that you present one point of difference or similarity between 2 subjects. Then you make that point about subject A, and then in the same paragraph, you make that point about subject B. I have a sample essay for you here attached in Blackboard instead of your textbook, so you'll need to open it up, but it's called Reading the Waves, and I even annotated it for you so that you can see that pattern. A really big difference here, other than just the organization of how you're presenting the information for point by point, is that in point by point, you're going to have a signal transition in every single body paragraph, okay? Because you are shifting or transitioning between subject A and subject B multiple times. And so every time you make that transition in the body paragraph, you need to have one of those signal transitions. Again, when I say signal transition, you have a list of them here in Blackboard, but that's your in contrast, different from, however, okay? Those are your signal transitions, and you're going to need more of them in a point by point pattern. Another big difference between subject by subject and point by point is that in point by point, your topic sentences are all going to present subject A, subject B, and then your point. They're different in this way. They're alike in this way. So you'll have that for your topic sentences, whereas in subject by subject, you will not. The blended pattern, I have a link here that you can click on from Rowan State Community College. It is a student sample, and it's focusing on the differences between 2 authors, Maya Angelou and Alice Walker. And you can read that one on your own. But an alternating or blended pattern, I can't give you an outline for because there is no consistent structure in that pattern. An alternating pattern is literally where you're going back and forth between point by point and subject by subject. So you might have one body paragraph that's organized in a point by point pattern, and then the next 2 body paragraphs might be organized as subject by subject, and you might go back to point by point. So there's a lack of consistency there, and it can be very confusing for your reader if it's not done well. And it can be even more confusing for you as a writer if you don't have a really, really thorough understanding of how to organize both subject by subject and by point. So like I said, I would not recommend you do the alternating, but I do want you to, as an instructor, I want you to be aware of what that pattern looks like. For your essay, this requirements you will have same as essay 1. It is a minimum of 2 full pages. You will need to turn in your outline and have me approve that before you start your essay. So make sure that you turn in this compare contrast proposal. I do make a recommendation here for you. You can read that on your own, I know, but I'm going to say it here too. I do make the recommendation that you start off filling out kind of a general outline, either in point by point or subject by subject, depending on which one you choose to use, and then transfer that information onto your proposal. You'll see on this proposal that instead of just asking for bulleted information like I did for your illustrative essay, on this one I'm asking for your actual topic sentences. I want them to be done in complete sentences. I really need to make sure that the way you're presenting those topic sentences match the organizational pattern you choose to do. So on the proposal, you'll see where it asks, I ask you what the order of your paragraphs is going to be. That's where you're filling in subject by subject or point by point or blended, so that I can take that and then match that with your topic sentences that you've filled out in the proposal. This essay will be done in MLA format, just like your first essay. And you'll also want to make sure you don't utilize any kind of research for this essay, just like the first one. And make sure that you have those 2 full pages and your transitions in the accurate place. Spell out your contractions. And as always, do not write in second person. Okay, I know I kind of threw a lot of information at you in one video, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to text or call me. We can also set up some conference calls and stuff if we need to. Okay, good luck with this second essay, and I'll talk to you later.